Gifford, and I am here today to tell you that I am so selfish. I have cultivated selfishness to a degree I am so proud of. I want to teach selfishness. I'm going to preach selfishness because I've learned that I have given so much of myself in ways, and I don't mean don't volunteer. I don't mean don't bust your ass to make a difference in the world. I mean, if you are in false relationships, if you are not receiving the kind of love that you want in your personal life, in your personal relationship, and I am a neurolinguistic practitioner, and what I do is work with people who have cPTSD stemming from childhood sexual assault. I'm working two cameras here too, so please subscribe to TikTok because when we get to 10,000, I'll be gifted the magic key, the RTMP key, so that we can add you to Restream. But as someone who works with cPTSD survivors like myself, or CSA survivors with cPTSD like myself, um, what I see is this giving in the people's opinion that really is taking away from who they are as an individual and a human being. And my friends and family would probably tell you that I'm a very giving person. This is why I never wear this. The flaps don't stay up. They probably tell you I'm a very giving person because I love the hell out of them. They're good to me. I'm good to them. Um, I've been married and divorced 3 times. I'm not selfless in the sense that I'm going to accept a life or a lifestyle or regular conversation that can't be improved, that doesn't feel right to me for whatever reason. I was going to give you my reasons, but that's irrelevant. If it doesn't feel right, something's wrong. It might be within you. And I always say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, for God's sake. Examine your relationship, see what's there. I found out that a whole lot of my past problems stemmed from me. And while the problems I recognized in my partners were also very real, I wasn't equipped with the tools to deal with them. I wasn't equipped with the tools to even approach them. So for me, running, I thought was my way. I was called selfish, but I thought it was self preservation. And it was. But people like us, if or your partner or someone you work with, if you're watching this, you probably have cPTSD from childhood sexual assault, or you probably know someone who does, or you're in a relationship with someone who does. And like these all tie together. Yesterday, every Wednesday now is Survive in Spades, where we are going through the workshop. And yesterday was the P in Spades, separating the past from the present. And I'm talking about dissociation. I'm not going to go into all that. Please look at yesterday's live stream. When I upload it to YouTube, which I haven't even done yet, I'm very busy. And I have no staff, clearly. I have a list of guidelines from my publicist, and I am checking all the boxes because the book is on pre order now and comes out September 2nd. But I've had this conversation a lot, and selfishness has a bad rap because it's really equivalent to honesty. Selfish, honest. I'm not talking about the kind of selfish that takes the biggest piece of steak or lets other people suffer or steals or thieves. I'm no. I'm talking about decent personal selfishness. I mean, your right to happiness, your right to orgasmic sex, your right to not be talked down to, your right to not have your vagina sold by your father, or worse yet, traded for a freaking cow. Because that's the world we live in. We live in a world where we are taught from everything. It starts, we say it starts with religion, but it really started with civilization. It really started when we stopped being in small banded groups of we all have to survive. And the archaeological record shows we weren't warfaring. And the archaeological record also shows that pre-civilized, what we call civilization, that like early hominids from all over the world, from Denisovans to Neanderthals to wherever, they, the women's bone, judging from the bones, you can tell that the women did all the same things the men did. And we also can tell that some members of their civilizations were, or not civilizations, I guess we're saying, were injured and still cared for decades. Found a man who lived to 40 and died, but he had so many injuries, he could only have survived all that time, much less the first injury, which was like losing limbs, with care. So women, until a power structure started emerging and we were commoditized, we used to throw down. I mean, science also shows and that women were better javelin throwers, that women had better endurance, that women were built to run longer and throw farther. I mean, okay, maybe not throw farther, but commoditization led to this trying to indoctrinate us into this being a pious, good way of life. You're a good person. You're a good woman if you concede, if you obey, if you do whatever. And it's morphed into a civilization that we call ourselves. We say we are living in a first world country, and Roe v. Wade has been overturned. Bodily autonomy has been stripped away. They flat out said they're coming after gay rights. They're coming after gay marriage. Don't believe a word Trump says. I mean, about, oh, I think it should be up to the states, abortion. It should not. Human rights, if they are not equalized across this country, across every state. And no, I'm not for states' rights, obviously. Ecological rights, human rights. If I live in America, and I'm going to call it America, and I'm an American, then I expect to have the same rights as somebody who lives across the state line. And if we continue having this argument of states' rights versus federal rights, and oh, well, we're a republic, we're a conglomeration of states, it's like, yes, you're right. We are. You are technically correct. And it's not working. It's failing. So I think we need to start thinking as a nation again. And it sucks that it seems like it takes a world war or something, which we even tried to stay out of. They had to come bomb us before we would get the hell involved, no matter what was going on. Don't think this is anything new, staying out of people's shit and trying. We're America. It's like, well, we have a long history of trying to stay out of shit, honestly, until it got to be all hell. So maybe this time around, we should find a way to not let it get to be all hell first. Obviously, if you have been with my Surviving Spades CSA workshops, I talk to you on a more professional level. This is those nasty women talk. This is where I need to get this off my chest, and I need to ask you, what are we going to do? What are we going to do about it? We've got to change this picture. And back to the top. Selfishness means doing the things that make you personally happy, that give you joy and peace. It doesn't mean stealing or robbing or manipulating. It means if you are lying, if you are allowing yourself to live a lie, and it is a lie if you're being married to someone against your will, it is a lie if you're being traded for a cow. This is not culture. It is somebody's culture. But that's another thing we need to get away from. I'm so damn tired of arguing with, even women about, oh, well, that's their culture. Leave it alone. It's like, where women are dominated in this world, I care. And I want it to stop. So I formed the Sweet Survivor action teams just to at least get people to report to Thorn. The Sweet Survivor action teams, all that means is you will report to Thorn. And if you see an Amber Alert, you will watch for that vehicle. If it's in your neighborhood, you will even go look for that vehicle. And this came up this week, so I need to add this in here. Sweet action team. We do not engage. You know I train. You know I run Armed Liberal in Training, my other Facebook page. You know I'm on my way to being a competition shooter. That's me. I'm super comfortable with guns. I've been shooting my whole life, and I've been training hard for a couple of years now. And we don't get involved in police activities. We report. My uh, love of shooting is just because it's really fun. And also personal protection only. You report to Thorn. And if you happen to see something going on, you call the police. You report to Thorn. Thorn will get cyber. They have the cyber capabilities to involve your local, federal, regional, I said that in the wrong order, um, police, militaries across countries. And they have rescued thousands of sex trafficking victims. And all it takes is being brave enough to say if you suspect somebody. And if you're scared it's going to come down on you, but it won't because they're already anonymous, you can give it another layer of protection and come to Sweet Survivor, message me in the chat box anonymously. I will report to Thorn for you. We will report to Thorn for you. Because if we don't stop people from commoditizing women on the front end, then the back end of we're all used to this and accept it isn't going to change. I mean, how many people are getting their daughter's breast implants for their 16th birthday? I don't watch that, but I've seen that TV and went, oh my God, you're teaching your children that what matters is how they present like not even sexually. That's not even sexual. We are teaching our children across the board to be what someone else wants them to be. And like I said, I was married and divorced 3 times, and I'm not saying they were all assholes. I'm saying, in fact, the first one was definitely not. And the other 2 had their serious issues. But I know now that a person like me with serious issues that I was denying and not dealing with doesn't know any better than to try to save somebody else. So that's why I'm so devoted to selfishness now, because I spent so much time doing what I thought was selfless. I didn't even give it that name then. I'm just reviewing it all in retrospect. Also, these podcasts are helping me tweak my book, which I keep saying it's finished, and it is, but there's quotes and graphs and charts, and I'm just getting ready to reach out to the people with my favorite photographer friends. It's time. We're on pre-order for September 2nd, and these help me work it out, my thoughts. And right now, I know that I've got to do something every day to make a difference in the world. I made a meme because it came up in conversation, and I said the way that I get over, the way that I win. That's what I said. The way that I win every day is, and by win I mean at life. By win over my cPTSD. By win over my sexual assailant who's still walking, talking out there, who my family would rather associate with than me, which is a whole other thing. And I live streamed about that. That hurts. Because he's not even denying it. It's so accepted that I'm getting the you should have known better treatment. The grooming started at about 10, just before 11, when he married my sister. And went on and developed into sexual acts over years. And when you try to explain grooming to your own family and they say they never want to speak to you again, this is not polite conversation. Why are you bringing it up? And if I'm in your book, I'm going to sue you. It's just like, wow. I still think I'm brave in coming forward, and I think I'm powerful in becoming a neurolinguistic practitioner. And I think it's wonderful that I reject negative energy and people that I am not happy with. I will work for anybody. I'll fight for anybody. I don't care. I don't take notes to see what your race or religion, not that I would care about your race or religion. I'm just saying politics. There's a better one that I do care about. I'll even save a Republican. Just saying, on an immediate sense, be a decent person. Always, to everyone in your life, in your path, in your world. But on a personal level, you have nothing to give to someone else if it's a lie. If you're unhappy and you're just hanging in there for the kids, you're living a lie and you're making your partner live a lie too. Whether they're the controlling freak or not, or they're a really nice person you just don't want to be with, or an asshole you don't want to be with, you are not capable of having a true intimate sexual experience with them. And this is talking to lots and lots of women and men. I'm a musician. I have a lot of male friends, and it's always the woman who cuts them off sexually because of other expectations. And for me, as a neurolinguistic practitioner who specializes in also relational sexuality, which doesn't mean sex with your relations, dumbass who said that. It means I only want to talk to people who are in a relationship, trying to be in a relationship, trying to get out of a relationship, trying to decide what they should do, who also were childhood sexual assault survivors. That is who I do. It's who I work with. And within that realm, invariably, I find people who think they're givers, but they're not receivers. And if you're not receiving happiness and joy, and that means on an intimate level too. And I talk about this in depth on in Surviving Spades, where we break down the nitty gritty of the sexual experience for a childhood sexual assault survivor and how to overcome that. So I do encourage you to go back through the Sweet Survivor playlist. And we just started it again. So yesterday was the P in Spades. Next week is going to be Wednesday is the A in Spades. Ask for what you want. Don't just take what's given in life. And that's really why I'm doing this, those nasty women today, is to say that because selfishness sets that up. Reject religious ideas of selfless. Reject the idea that you're going to have a better life in heaven if you do something you don't like here. Reject the idea that you should be controlled by a man because that's the way God intended or nature intended. I can prove you wrong throughout history. I can prove you wrong scientifically. I can prove you wrong neurologically. And I do that every Wednesday and Thursday. So I will see you next Wednesday. And please, we got over 1,000 new products at sweetsurvivor.com. I just finished working in the new steel drum wall art from Haiti. And if anybody needs your support right now, it's people in Haiti. So please check out. Now that we're going nonprofit, I slashed my metal art prices by $20 to $50 a piece because I just want the artists to get the money. I just wanted to get to them. So please check out sweetsurvivor.com. It's also sweetshoppinggroup.com because, of course, it is. Duh. I'm hot. That being said, it's Thursday night. I have company coming this weekend. And I'm super excited about spending the weekend. We're going to go to the zoo and the Lego store. on Saturday, and we're going to go shooting on Sunday. And Sunday, I get to introduce a woman to shooting for the first time. So I'm really excited about that because I think that we need to not be scared of personal protection. Those nasty women signing out. I'm Linda Kay Gifford. Still, and I plan to be next week. Bye. If I could ever hit the button hard enough. Off.